making this video to warn you about the dark phenomenon which no one talks about in my calisthenics niche. It's something that can decide whether you will continue and rise or give up and completely ruin your potential. And I have prepared an important message near the end of the video, so stick around so that you won't miss it. I am Tumidalsky and I have been doing calisthenics since 2019. The phenomenon which I am going to talk about is something that has completely destroyed my path of achieving success in this sport, and that's why I don't want the same thing happening to you. It's November 2020 and I am about to do a 360 on the bar. It's a bit cold because I can see my breath. Overall the weather is nice, and so I grab the bar, I prepare for the trick, I make a swing. Whilst I'm going backwards I prepare for the spin. Then I go for it, but I fail completely, and I don't understand why, because it's the trick which I had mastered. I was doing it without missing any session when I didn't do the 360, so it was trick which I had been able to grab consistently all the time, and I failed. I don't understand why. What's the reason for me failing? But okay, I remember saying that it's probably fine because it's part of the progress, and so I get up and go for the second time. I was saying that this time I will catch it for sure, because there is no way I forgot how to do a trick which I was doing consistently. And I go for the second time, do the swing, but this time I can't even spin. Like, that makes no sense. After all those hardworking days when I was learning this trick, and after the days when I was actually landing the trick, I can't even spin, and so I shrug it off. But this time I was a bit pissed and annoyed because that really made no sense. So I go for the third time, then for the fourth time, for the fifth, sixth, and so on, and still nothing. Each try it was getting a little better, but it really did leave me in anger. I didn't know what to do because I lost the trick which I thought I had locked in, but I had a strong mentality at the time, so I said to myself, no matter what it takes, I will learn it again. After that I started practicing it as if I was learning it from the beginning, and after relentless hard workouts I learned it again. I was happy that I managed to learn it again, even though I thought I had mastered it. However, something that I really wasn't expecting happened, and it's the fact that I lost the trick, the same trick, for 4 more times after that. I became so accustomed to it happening that I just started learning it and learning it again and again, and without thinking much about it, because I kind of enjoyed the process of learning those tricks. So I thought that it's okay, but what was hitting me was the fact that people around were making huge progress. They were catching tricks like nothing, whilst I on the other hand was technically losing progress because instead of making those tricks better, I was losing them over and over again. And it's not like it happened only with 360, it happened with other tricks as well. For example, it was shrimp flip, dislocate 360, 540. And I think there were more tricks, but I don't remember them much, because those 3 tricks were the most affected by that thing. And to make it a bit easier to understand, I will describe how it felt, so that you know if you have it, if you had experienced it before, or so that you will know what to expect if something like that will happen to you. If you learn tricks the same way as I do, listen closely. When I do the spin, everything goes blank. I don't know what's happening, I don't remember anything whilst being in the blank state, and then I see the bar and catch it. So there is like a short interval in split seconds when I am in a weird state of mind, when I am kind of like unconscious, and before and after that I'm fully conscious, so it's kind of weird. The only explanation which I have for it is that I lean mostly on muscle memory. So what's happening is that in the blank state, when I am kind of unconscious, my muscles take control and they have that movement so accustomed that they do it for me, and I don't have to really be fully conscious of what's happening. And that might be a good thing, but at the same time, what if your muscles lost that memory? There was a YouTube video which I watched before and it covered basically the same thing, exactly the same thing which I was experiencing, that it was connected to muscle memory and everything, but I couldn't find it, so that's a shame. So I decided to give that phenomenon a name as well as a description of my own. If I'm incorrect, definitely comment down below what's correct. So the name is muscle memory malfunction, and the description, I will read it for you. It's a state of suddenly losing one's skill, even though that skill was mastered and practiced on daily basis. One cannot recall the technique anymore, since it was mostly unconscious muscle-controlled movement. Experiencing muscle memory malfunction is no joke. It can be very frustrating, especially if you don't have a strong mindset. And that's why you should like and share this video with someone who needs to see it. Firstly, the MMM which I was experiencing wasn't caused by anything, so here's an actionable step. I have prepared a list of causes which can lead to something that's not MMM, but it has very similar symptoms. One of those can be not being able to perform a trick, and so take around 2 to 4 minutes or however long you need. You can stop the video if you need to, and think if you have any of those. The first one is plateau effect. The second one is fatigue or overtraining. The third one is mental block or performance anxiety. The fourth one is lack of focus or mindfulness. The fifth one is stress or external factors. If you thought long and hard and you know that it's neither one of those, then what you might be experiencing is MMM, the same one as I did. And what can you do about it? I don't think it's possible to rewire your brain into learning differently. If you are someone who mostly leans on muscle memory, then it will probably stay the same. And so all you can do is to accept the fact that you will lose those tricks and that you will have to learn them again. But there is actually a positive side of things. Just think about it. If you lose a trick and you learn it again, you learn a better version that you knew before, so you gain experience. And then later you can use that experience when you are learning new tricks. And so what that means is that you will achieve exponential growth that the people who are making quick progress right now around you in your environment won't ever experience. Because learning a 360, for example, for the 4th time, it broke me. But I know that you are a strong individual since you clicked on this video, and that you will push through it and you will achieve eventually Elon Musk or Picasso level of it. You will master the trick, like a really master. What do I mean by that? Is the fact that you will be able to perform that trick in any condition, in any environment. Even if the bar will be very tight, you will still be able to perform that trick because you had to learn it 4 times or even more, maybe less. It doesn't matter. In the end, you will actually make better progress than the people around you. And so definitely reject instant gratification and look forward and grind for the delayed gratification. Even though you are losing those tricks right now, you will master them. That's why you should work hard and push through it. The days when I was the happiest were the days when I was training 2 times a day, grinding relentlessly on 360 or other tricks, and so you shouldn't forget that you should enjoy the process and be on the grind, because that's when you are the happiest. Here's the very important message. If you will find the strength to relearn those skills, you will progress much faster than the people who are ahead of you right now. If it hadn't been for injuries, I would be one of the top athletes in my country. Yes, I needed to relearn those tricks many times, and it was depressing. But my technique became so good that learning new stuff became easy, and so you can do the same. Also, the reason why I lost was the fact that I became complacent, so don't be like me. Even if it takes 20 resets to learn a trick, do it. The success that's waiting for you is enormous, but you have to put in the work. And one thing which I forgot to mention, and it's kind of important, so maybe I should have said it at the beginning. But since you have stayed until the end of the video, it's a reward for you. The MMM which I was experiencing stopped after 2 years, so I don't think it's permanent. Maybe it differs from person to person, but for me it was 2 years. After that, I was losing tricks not because of MMM, but because of anxiety, because of fear out of those tricks. I failed many times on the bar I hit my hands, I broke my fingers, and that led to me being fearful of those tricks. That's why my brain kind of like threw out the muscle memory of those movements. So that's what I wanted to say. It's not permanent, you just have to push through it. All the suffering will end eventually. That's why you should always remember